I'm Frank Crane, and I'm going to be talking to you about Your Attention Please, Part 2, the body scan. Previously, I talked about problems with attention in the presentation called Your Attention Please, and focusing on the ways that we go wrong in using our attention and scattering our attention. And this, of course, has been a problem with us humans for forever. And focusing on a very important solution to that set of problems in the work of Dr. Amisihi Jha. She takes something very ancient and is able to use it as a tool for people in our crazy world under all kinds of time pressure and without a lot of background time to learn complex skills. So she does a wonderful synthesis of a timeless, ancient, valuable practice and has shown that doing this can produce all kinds of interesting results, powerful, positive results among people like soldiers and firefighters and people under decision stress and so on and so forth. So in this second video, we will then be looking at a second form of mindfulness meditation, and we'll be also situating this meditation in the context of what it's supposed to cure, what it's supposed to help us with, and why doing that can be so hard. But first, let us start with a couple of quotes. When Dr. Jha takes her mindfulness material, she gets it originally from a man known as the Buddha. This man lived approximately 500 BC or thereabouts and began teaching mindfulness. And out of his work, we have what we call today Buddhism, various schools and so forth. And it's been a tremendous help, I think, to mankind in general. So let us start with a quote from the Buddha. He says, "The mind is a drunken monkey. The mind is a drunken monkey." So I wonder if you've ever had that feeling that, oh my goodness, I couldn't keep my focus. I couldn't figure out what I was doing, and I did this silly thing. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, I think all of us have experienced that to some extent, and that's a good beginning because we begin to realize how much we must train our minds in order to get the results that we deserve from them. Okay. So that was the original founder of meditation, the Buddha. And now we're going to hear from a 17th century figure. This was a famous mathematician named Blaise Pascal. And he said the following: "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. And I think probably we've all had experiences like that as well. We didn't just sit there and think it through. Oh, if I'd only done that, it would have been so much better. But what did I do? Well, I had to run out half-baked with my thoughts and didn't really do my homework and didn't really understand what was going on and got myself into a mess. And again, this is the inability to sit still, to sit quietly, to focus ourselves, focus our attention. Okay. So that's the 17th century heard from. And now let us look at the 20th and into the 21st century. And this is from the famous Nobel Prize winning economist Herbert Simon. And he says, "What information consumes is rather obvious. it consumes the attention of its recipients. Hence, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention and a need to allocate that attention efficiently among the overabundance of information sources that might consume it. Hence, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention and a need to allocate that attention efficiently among the overabundance. That means too much stuff, among all of that stuff out there, all the information sources that might consume it. So consuming our attention in a way is consuming us. So we can get overwhelmed and swept away and buried in this overabundance of information that we deal with in these difficult days of ours. So, okay, that is some quotes about the context of the problem of attention. Now, let us look a little closer at our second meditation technique, and that is called the body scan. Okay. The first technique that Dr. Jha talked about was called, in her words, find your flashlight. And it was something like you focus your attention like a flashlight. You focus it on the tip of your nose, and you feel the air coming in and out of the tip of your nose. So you're finding your focus. Now you find what happens is you do this for about 5 seconds. Oops, focus goes away. Notice the drift, bring the focus back. Oh dear, focus going away again. Notice the mind drift, bring the focus back. And you did this for 12 minutes. So the way Dr. Jha designed these activities was you take the particular type of meditation and you focus on doing it as best you can for 12 minutes. You do one 12-minute session a day. You do 5 sessions per week, and you stay with it for a month. And if you can do all of that, you will find that your attention is transformed. It's wildly, wildly, profoundly better. Okay. Now, let us look at our second meditation practice, and this is the body scan. So let us look at what's different. If I take my finger, here I am looking at my right index finger, and I focus my attention on the tip of my finger, and I put my mind on the tip of my finger. Now, of course, I'm sitting there with my eyes closed, but this is what my attention is doing. It's focusing on the tip of my finger, and it's all really good, but the mind drifts up, bring it back, focus the attention, and so forth. Then we continue our practice and we go to the next point, which in this case we've chosen to be the second finger joint, and we focus on that, keeping away from mind drift and staying with our attention on the second joint. And then we might go to the third joint on the finger, continuing the same process. We might then go to the palm. We might then continue to the hand and, down the palm and down to the arm and so forth. Now, why do we do this? Well, the interesting thing is we get to choose the starting point. And it's a point on our body. And then we get to choose the next point. So we go from the tip to the next joint, to the next joint, to the palm, and so forth. They're connected. And we stay with the connection, and we resist the mind drift. When we notice it, we bring it back to the point where we were and continue. So that is the body scan. Now, the interesting thing is we can start at any point in our body that we want. You can start with the top of your head and work your way down your face. You can start with your elbow and work your way forward to your hand, and so on and so forth. It's totally up to you, and your main job is, as previously, to pay attention to where you are, to what that point is, to notice going to the next point, and to push back against mind wandering. Okay, so that is the body scan in a nutshell. Now, you do the body scan as previously. You do it for 12 minutes. And when you do your meditations, you do one session of 12 minutes per day. Then you do 5 days a week, and you do a month. And then when you've hit a month, your attention span is way, way stronger than it was. Now, what about this? It would be good, since we now know 2 meditation techniques. Let's say on Monday we do the Find Your Flashlight. Then on Tuesday we do the body scan. On Wednesday, Find Your Flashlight. Thursday, body scan, and so forth. And so this is a very powerful way to strengthen your attention. Okay. So what is it about all this attention stuff? Well, I think we need to look at the whole situation. What are we getting from this attention stuff? And I think we're getting maybe 4 important things. One is we're learning to stay focused. We're learning to work and work and work without wandering away. We notice when we wander, and we come back, and we stay at the job. And we get stronger at staying there and quicker at coming back. Also, we get to become aware of our body in an essential way. If you can pay attention to your body in this way, if you can be focused in this way, you learn a lot about your body's needs. You learn a lot about your needs, and you are able to help yourself in very important ways for your mental and emotional health. Okay. What else? Well, you get to notice more and more. As you're working on this discipline of meditation, you're beginning to notice all the static in the environment, all the static inside of you. And you're noticing what's helpful and what's not. And you're staying on the job, and you're noticing that with all the static, you can still stay on the job. And then finally, you're learning about what's useless. There are things that just aren't that important because you can do the job without them. Like I know when I'm meditating, or I used to anyway, all kinds of thoughts would be in my head, and I'd think about, well, should I think about this? Should I think about that? No. Focus on the point. Focus on the focus. Don't get distracted. Drop what is useless. And the interesting thing is, with all these crazy things going on in your head, you can just let them go. Focus on the job. Let the distractions go. Now, next time, we'll be talking about the final meditation that Dr. Jha came up with, which is called the River of Life, which is quite interesting and quite challenging. And we'll look at this meditation in the context, in particular, of the problems with boredom and anxiety. But that's for next time. So the third meditation, the third video will be called Your Attention Please, Part 3, The River of Life. So until then, this is Frank Crane, attentively yours, wishing you the best of attention in the new year. And hopefully we'll be talking. Take good care. Bye-bye.